Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today's post, even though it may look a little different than usual, is tea and a book. Okay, so if you've seen any of my other tea and a book posts, you know that usually the tea I talk about is from my Sips by box. Not sponsored, but I get it every month and I just open it with you guys, or I show it to you after I've opened it, and so you can see what I got. Well, this month, instead of doing my Sips by box, again, because I'm not sponsored and I can do whatever I want, I put my Sips by box on hold because I wanted to check out the Halloween blends from David's Tea. So I love David's Tea. I was introduced to them through the Sips by box. And one of the things that I've been doing with my coffee is that I kind of alternate who I get coffee from. So the place I got the coffee from this month was called Hound and Grounds. They contribute a portion of their sales to animal rescue. And so I might do something like that for tea as well. I really love my Sips by box, but I might kind of spread the commerce around for my tea as well. But I just put it on hold for 1 month, so I'll get it again in November. But anyway, David's Tea had this packet of Halloween blends, and I wanted to check that out. So to offset the cost of that, I put my Sips by box on hold. The blends that I got, there were 5 of them. And then I also got a Playa Peach, which I have not tried yet. So this is apple pieces, candied papaya, orange peel, persimmon, peach, lemongrass, red currants, rose petal, and persimmons. So citrus, peach, and papaya. So it's a little bit like tropical-y. So I'm excited about that, which makes sense because playa, I think, means beach in Espanol. So I'm excited to try that one. I love fruit teas, especially cold. This one has the rose petals in it, which could ruin the whole thing for me or could really pop. Rose, for me, is a very touch and go addition to a tea, but it's really common. So between that and vanilla, like, I can't escape one of those flavors. I also got one little sachet or one little packet of a cinnamon rooibos chai, and I don't know if I asked for that. I don't think I would have purchased yet another chai because I get them all the time. So it might have been one of those like free gift with purchase kind of things. But again, it's a rooibos with cinnamon. So I'm probably gonna like it. It's caffeine free. So maybe, you never know. Tea is good anytime. Apple, cinnamon, rooibos. Not a whole lot of ingredients, people. And that's what you want in your tea. All right, so then my Halloween blends. Speaking of tea, I'm gonna take a sip of the one I'm drinking right now, which is one of the ones that I'm gonna tell you. No, it isn't. It's a chai that I got from something else. Because I get so many chais. Are chais more popular right now than they have been in the past? Or did I not know how popular they were? Comment below. Sure, there's nothing else in. Oh, there is another thing I didn't purchase. The Buzz. Oh, it is in a sachet. I think the other one's loose. So this one is ginger. I have a mixed relationship with ginger. Green tea, matcha green tea, a yerba mate, quince, apple, lemon peel, orange peel, licorice root, lemongrass, guarana power, white ginseng. Okay, so this sounds like, and it's called the Buzz. So this sounds like it's supposed to be an energizing tea, and it's got a bunch of stuff I don't generally like. Obviously, I'm going to try it anyway because it was free and I have it. So I will try it. Ooh, the sachet and the overwrap are 100% biodegradable. Love that. I assume that's true of the other one too. It is. Nice. Okay. Halloween blends. Now that I've nothing else to distract me from these. The first one is a chocolate and cinnamon indulgence. That one's called Halloween. I used this one last night. I went to a drive-in movie theater for 2 horror movies. One called Slacks, about killer pants, and one was a classic Halloween, Jamie Lee Curtis screaming her head off and basically accomplishing almost nothing. And it was good because warm, like if you think about hot beverages, hot chocolate is probably one of the things that comes to your mind. So this one is a little bit of a Mexican hot chocolate kind of flavor, but it's a tea. So it's chocolate and cinnamon. And I liked it. I'm not a big fan of heavy chocolate flavors in tea. I would prefer a hot chocolate or chocolate in my coffee for a heavier chocolate flavor. So this one wasn't too heavy, and it was good. So liked it. You can't smell it, but it smells wonderful. This other, I'm a little silly, right? So the name of that one, oh, it is Halloween. Okay, so that one is part of the Halloween blend, and it's called Halloween. I'm a liar. It's called Organic Stormy Night. And this one is part of the Halloween blend, and it's called Monster Mash. And it is pumpkin butter and cinnamon. Noticing a theme already. I tried this one yesterday, or I think maybe 2 days ago. I took it to work. Again, it kind of has that really comforting, deep pumpkin kind of flavor. It smells sweeter than it actually tasted. So I like that one. That's a pumpkin, one of the Halloween. And then this one is Magic Potion, which is a color changing blueberry. So I'm excited to look at that one, and I bet it tastes delicious. And I bet I'm gonna like it, especially cold, because blue raspberry. So that's gonna be so good. Spectacular. And haven't tried yet, peanut butter cup. So I am not someone who generally likes peanut butter flavor in my tea or any other kind of beverage. Peanut butter to me is a on the spoon, on a cracker, or in a candy kind of flavor. Isn't that weird how sometimes some flavors just seem better in some formats than others? But peanut butter is that way for me. So I'm interested to see if I like this. If anybody can get me to like it, it would be David's Tea. So we'll see what that's about. And then the final one from the Halloween Spooktacular blends is Strawberry Gummy. So the pictures make it seem like there are actually gummy bears in this tea. If there are, they're very small because I don't fill them. I suspect fruity, though, because of strawberry. Yep, fruity, gummy, and tropical. I do not like the texture of gummy candy, but I really like the flavor of gummy candy because who doesn't like it? I have a sweet tooth. I enjoy candy a lot, and gummy candy tastes basically like sugar and artificial flavoring, which is my favorite combination. So I expect that this will be pretty good. It says tropical, caffeine free. Unfortunate. Oh, and look at this. Caffeine free blend filled with strawberry, colorful gummy bears, and hibiscus blossoms. So a hibiscus tea hardly ever goes wrong for me. So I'm excited about that. This one's called Strawberry Gummy. Strawberry Gummy, as in there's bears in there. Strawberry Gummy. So I'll try that one. All right, so those are my teas for this month to try. If you've tried any of these from David's Tea or the combinations, the flavor blends in any other tea, let me know what you think or if any of those sound super exciting. The book I want to talk about is All of Us with Wings. There are trigger warnings for this book. So if this isn't a good time for you to hear about abuse, or sexual predators, then please skip this portion of the video. Okay. So if you watched the video I posted right before this, which I haven't posted yet, so I'm predicting in the future that this video will come after that one, then you saw my slight tangential rant about the role of problematic books, and that I really value problematic books for what they can teach us and what they offer us by way of a fuller, well-rounded representation of things. So the reason why I bring that up with this book is because the central romance / love story in this book is between a 17-year-old girl and her 29-year-old employer. So in this book, Sochi works as the governess or paid companion of a 12-year-old girl who is the daughter of a rock couple who are in a band, and they're kind of famous and they're talented and they're wonderful and all that stuff. She is kind of on the run from an abusive relationship with her stepfather after her mother abandoned them. I don't think it really ever, oh yes it is. The mom leaves with a new boyfriend. So she leaves her current boyfriend and her daughter to go with this new relationship. And over the course of time, from when she leaves to when Sochi leaves her stepdad, they are engaged in a sexually abusive relationship. And she leaves when she's 17. So when she goes to become a governess, the man of the house is really attracted to her. She's really attracted to him. And it's presented in a way that we probably are meant to sympathize with this almost 30-year-old man because he's in a horrible position to really find this young girl attractive. And she is troubled, to say the least. And everybody else in the family recognizes that she's troubled. And they think that she is also going to be trouble for the band and for this guy who kind of has a history of sort of like throwing himself into relationships. It's sort of an open relationship situation with this family. So the main conflict in the book is not this relationship. It's that this girl, Sochi, and the girl that she's the governess for, who's only 12, do this sort of ritual that's really just make-believe one night after a party when they are sort of expressing their power and empowerment as girls. And it brings forward these beings who are set on revenge for people that have hurt Sochi in the past. And there's a cat who is kind of awesome. And I guess one of my complaints about the book in general is that it's not really clear the kind of world that they live in. So are magical beings common or uncommon? Is it weird or not weird that cats understand you and can act accordingly? What role does magic play in the overall world? That is, it's not that it feels necessarily inconsistent, but it feels unknown to me as part of this book. But I also really liked a lot of it. And, you know, there's redemption and there's, you know, reflection, and there's all of those kinds of things that happen in good books. The story is good. If Michelle Ruiz-Kiel had made this main character 4 years older, it would not be a problematic book. So it makes me wonder if she did that on purpose in order to make it controversial, or if she doesn't know that that would be a controversial topic. And I think that either of those things could be true. In the foreword, a note from the author, she talks about how the book discusses sexual abuse, the use of hard drugs, and the loss of a loved one. And she talks about how she, as an abuse survivor and mixed race Latinx person, left home early, I think around the same age that Soshi did. She was the daughter of a teen mom, just like the main character here. And so part of it might be, and she doesn't say this, autobiographical, or at least reflected as autobiographical. Experiences that she had or thought about or felt when she was a young girl, kind of on the run too, perhaps. So the fact that Soshi was abused by someone who was of similar age to the man that she's interested in now and starts a relationship with in this book is problematic in multiple ways. And that is important to know before you read this book, maybe, but certainly after, particularly for young people, because this is a young adult book. And what could happen is that because the man she chooses to be with is a sensitive, wonderful, talented artist who thinks about not dating her, and the man who was her stepfather didn't care about whether she chose to be with him or not, it could seem like the message is that some relationships between 17-year-olds and 30-year-olds, 29-year-olds are fine based on the intention of the 29-year-old. And I'm not someone who thinks that that's true. And I have been a 17-year-old with big feelings who thought I knew everything. And I did know everything at that time that was important to me to know, but not important for me to know. And I think that that's something that's really important, because 17-year-olds are brilliant. And sometimes they don't know everything. And it's problematic if these are the only kinds of relationships that they get to read about or hear about. And that's why I think it's important that a recommendation for this book, which I'm recommending it. This is not a bad book. If you like a book like this, you should read this book. I liked it. And if it's the only book about relationships for 17-year-olds, or the only book about trauma, or the only book about whatever that you're going to read, I would recommend you read a different book, because it's not an only story kind of book. So I think the woman, I was actually just wondering if she identifies as queer at all, because it could count for one of my read harder books, but I don't think it does. I don't think it does. But it's her first novel. Again, it may reflect some things that she's been through herself, and I don't know that at all. And it also reflects things I don't want other 17-year-olds to think is okay. I would give it easily 3 stars, easily. Maybe 3.5 stars sometimes, 4 stars sometimes. So that's my book. I'll see you in the next one.